Hi there, I'm Jennifer Vanderbeek, and today is Saturday, September 3rd, 2022, making this the week 35 Create Brilliance weekly update. Hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. To my friends in North America, well, not just North America, but specifically United States, happy Labor Day weekend. If you have a 3-day weekend, then enjoy it. Being self-employed, it's a little different. I work part-time at a yarn shop, so I was at work today. So in theory, that gives me a 2-day weekend, Sunday and Monday, but I stream tomorrow, and Monday I will probably do whatever I normally do because when you're self-employed or trying to build something, whether it's, a side hustle or a full-time or what have you, yeah, it doesn't always work to you have to plan ahead for days off. And and on you end up working almost all the time. Of course, the the best practices are that you do give yourself some time off, of course. But what we think of as time off, like work 5 days, 2 days off, is a little different when you work for yourself because it could look like rather than a full day off, it could look like a few hours here, a few hours there. We have that ability to schedule our days so that it works best for us. But also, working on the days where I feel productive and motivated and all that is great because then when I hit one day where it's like a no bones or a negative spoons kind of day, then I don't feel so bad just saying, you know what, today's not going to happen. We're going to chill, we're going to relax, we're going to do whatever. Um, so that being said, that was a tangent I didn't mean to get on. But if you have an extra day off this week, fabulous. I hope you enjoy it. Um, one of these days, I will maybe not feel like I need to qualify everything I say with an example or an explanation. Today isn't that day, but maybe one of these days. So my week has not been bad. I feel like I've gotten quite a bit done. And not only that, I feel like I was able to be pretty consistent throughout the week, which does not happen all that often. Usually, what happens is I'll have like a great Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, I'll start to feel like a little bit sluggish. And then by Thursday and Friday, I'm just like, yeah, I'm done. I've used up my energy for the week. And it's not something, it has yet to be something that I feel like I can easily, um, you know, moderate. It's not like it's I choose to front load the week. It's I've learned to front load the week because more weeks than not, by the end of the week, I am feeling pretty drained. So that's kind of one of the reasons why the way things have worked out right now, where I've changed some things around to make them work for me, is that Thursdays are kind of an open space. I don't have a stream planned. I don't usually work at the yarn shop on Thursdays. So if Thursday needs to be a recovery day, Thursday can be a recovery day. If Thursday is a catch up day, then Thursday can be a catch up day. If I need to go run errands, if I need to do whatever, Thursday can be that day. In a way, Monday is like that too. So like every other Monday, I have meal preps, and that's like a big focus for that day. Um, but on the off weeks, Monday is that kind of buffer day too. So like Mondays and Thursdays are my usual days where I don't tend to have scheduled things during the day. Now, both of my book clubs for some reason meet on Mondays. Um, Usually 2 weeks apart, so it's not an issue. But yeah, so sometimes I'll have things in the evenings, but not during the day. Anyway, what have I been up to? Well, it's been a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I think I mentioned last week that I had finished, and if I had not finished yet, then I'm letting you know I finished the revisions um or rough draft or the second draft rather for book 4, which is Mother Mayhem. I can't remember what day I did that, but it might have been after I recorded the last one. Anyway, I have, yes. I have the second draft printed out, ready for me to give it a read through coming week. It's a really good idea when you've been knee deep in a work for so long, tearing it apart and putting it back together. Or just when you write the first draft, kind of another one of those best practices is that we take a little bit of a break or a breather when we hit, a stopping point. It's like, don't dive immediately back into the new draft and then start revising. Give yourself a break, give yourself a little bit of distance so that when you do come back to it, it's fresh in your mind. Or it's fresh on the page for you, and you're not still focusing on where your head was when you were making the changes. So there's that. So this coming week, I'll be starting revisions on the second draft. My hope is that I manage to iron out the major kinks and time mess ups and everything that was in the first draft, so that now I'm fine tuning for story and descriptions and flow and pacing and all that good stuff, while also starting to do some checking for just errors, flat out errors. um so yeah, I feel good about that. I managed to prepare the next coloring page for um, the Internest, the monthly newsletter I send out to folks on my mailing list. And with that comes one of those. So those usually go out on the 5th, which in this case would be Labor Day, um, which means I need to write the newsletter. I've done the artwork, I just haven't done the writing part. And I keep going back and forth, and one of the reasons why is I keep going back and forth on what I want to talk about in the newsletter this month, but I just need to sit down and do it. I've also been working on a sample for the yarn shop, and I hit a bit of a snag the other night, and I had to spend several hours rewinding a ball of yarn because it just sometimes some yarns just like to get all snarly inside of a center pull ball, and yeah, this one did, and it was not fun. Untangling, unbraiding, yeah, it was a mess. But I put on some comfort movies, and so I had like good stuff in my ears while I was fiddling with these knots and twists and turns and so forth. And then last night I was able to continue on. So it's all good. It's all well that ends well. Um, and then what else have I've been doing things around the house, but also I have been working on finishing up some of the designs that I'm putting together for the merchandise shop, the merch shop, which there will be a link down in the description box for the shop. Um, I am more or less confident that everything will be fine, knock on wood, and Mercury retrograde notwithstanding. But I put up the 2 Halloween sticker sheets as well as a couple of individual stickers. I will continue to add things over the next coming week, and then probably I don't know. I mean, it's like, is there any I don't know. Some people say it's better to do big drops or big shop updates altogether. Um, but right now I'm just I'm filing in the Halloween or fall products as I get them done. But I wanted to show you one of the things I did, because, well, it's kind of cute and kind of silly, and it's just a wonderful thing that this is what I get to do and try and make a living out of, you know? So let's go over to another screen. And this is the dress that I just finished designing. I had the artwork, of course, and it was just a matter of, I didn't want to do an all over print. So it's got these lovely little, fun little cascading leaves. down to, from one shoulder down to the opposite hem, and then we've got this little cluster of pumpkins. That is one of the designs that I've kind of lifted and extracted from one of the coloring book pages from Posh Pumpkins, and then colored up. And then the back has trailing leaves coming around the other side. And yes, you are seeing things correctly. I did essentially put a lower back tattoo on the back of the dress. I know, I put a pumpkin tramp stamp on the back of the dress because the idea occurred to me. The problem when things occur to me and I kind of I end up a little bit so amused by the idea that I can't help myself. And yeah, it became a thing where I just needed to do it. So here's the Gourds Gone Wild. I have it as a white print on black t-shirt. I'm kind of looking forward to that one. I don't usually I would have really loved if they had a V-neck long sleeve available, but they didn't. So we go with it. We go with it. And then what else? Oh, I can show you the so one of the yeah, you get to see kind of the behind the scenes a little bit. I took that same image with the pumpkin and the two leaves, and I gave it kind of like the tattoo treatment and then put pumpkin spice life over it. I also have one that says keep it pumpkin. And then the sticker sheets I have oops. We have this one that has our happy little, Posh Pumpkin friends, and I probably should have, like, brought all these up before, but I did not, so forgive me. And then these are the more, general Halloween things. This was a digital stamp set that I had done, a while back. So anyway, that's what I have been up to and finishing up in these last couple of days. And it feels good. I mean, I've said this before. It feels good to finish things. It feels good to bring things to a point of completion. And what what really it would be lovely if I always had something ending, something in progress, and something beginning. Wouldn't that be lovely, right? Because then, no matter where I was, what I was doing, I would be able to always have this sense of accomplishment because I would have something being finished. That doesn't work for me. That would take way too long to plan out, and just the time that each item takes, each project takes, varies. Some things are gonna be quick, some things are gonna be extended. Um, yeah, I just that's not how it works. Basically, it'd be lovely in a perfect world, in utopia, maybe. But, yeah, not in reality, so it's okay. It's okay. I'm okay with it. I mean, in general, yes, it'd be fun, but I'm not worried about it. That being said, what I wanna talk about for the rest of the time we're chatting today, our brilliant thought on brilliance moment, whatever we want to call it. Maybe by the end of the year, I will have figured out exactly what we're going to call it. Um, I I feel like this week, in regards to everything that's been going on and all the ups and downs, I've had some emotional ups and downs, but this week's thoughts on brilliance is time. So I talked earlier about how time off is important and downtime is important, and how it might look different for someone who's self-employed and might seem like they're always working, but really we're also interspersing those moments of rest and recharge in rather than holding them all off until the end of the week. or on set days. Although I do have those days that I've designated as catch-alls or the other stuff. Um, then there's how long each project takes, the amount of time invested and involved, and how it feels good to have things ending, but also, part of it is so that you can begin something else. But of course, there's the whole concept of time in general and how we choose to spend our time, a resource that we can neither buy more of nor have a guaranteed amount of, is so important to our overall health and everything. Again, I go back to last year with the whole return to creativity thing and refinding and refocusing myself as a creative person first and all of these other things after. When I did not have the time to spend creating, when I did not have the time to, have the thought of, not just have the thought, but and then execute it, of putting a little, lower back image on an otherwise plain section of a dress. I almost talked myself out of doing it, but I'm like, you know what? Stranger things have worked, and I thought it was cute. And who knows? Other people might think it's cute too. I didn't even upload the version of it that doesn't have it on the back. Because I'm like, I have stopped myself from doing things that I've had these ideas and they're not all as goofy as that. But, I've had ideas where it's like, oh, I don't know that I have the time to do that correctly, or I don't know if it's a good idea. Here's a time thought for you. There's no thought time like the present. Again, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. I mean, I never know when I get up each day. I never know if it's going to be a day where a part of my body is in pain and it's distracting and debilitating. I don't know if getting up and getting dressed is going to be all the energy that I have for that day. It doesn't happen often, but it happens often, and I mean, it doesn't happen regularly, but it happens often enough that I have learned that it is possible. It is not something that I can guarantee that, oh yeah, I'm going to get up on Wednesday morning and just be able to just get up and go. No, that is not how it's going to work. I can't count on that. I may have written a book or edited a book in a week before. I can't count on that every week. And some folks are like, "Well, but you have to. That's how you get anything done. You have to be able to pinpoint." No. No. I am lucky. I am fortunate enough to have that leeway, to have that wiggle room. I am fortunate enough to have the time to be able to do what I can when I can. And that being said, um I still peep myself up sometimes when I don't feel like I've used my time wisely. And I'm getting better at being forgiving of myself, but there's a balance to it. And then there's that whole concept. I know I've got so many things in my head regarding time. You know how when we're kids and it's like, oh my gosh, summer vacation is a month away, and I just mean like school break, not necessarily going on vacation. But that too. It's like, oh, my birthday is so far away. It's 2 weeks away. I have to wait 2 whole weeks. 2 weeks feels like forever when we're a kid. But now, as an adult, and the older and older we get, that goes by in a blink of an eye, snap of the fingers. And wow, it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 months. I mean, hello, we're in September. Me, myself, I'm thinking, where has 2023 gone? I mean, I know, but I mean, I can look in my planner and see it's like, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it does not feel like it's been that long. Well, there's a theory that's been floated, and I don't know if this is accepted as fact as like one of those theories, or if it's just like a philosophical thing or it's actually scientific. I don't know, but it sounds interesting. So I'm going to pass it on with the caveat of take it with a grain of salt. But I have heard, read, been told that the reason why time seems to pass so much quicker for adults is that when we think of the concept of time, it's in relation to the entire time we have been alive, time we've been on Earth, the time we've been sentient. So a week to a child is a much greater percentage of their lived life than a week as a middle-aged adult or an elderly adult. So yes, the time can absolutely seem to pass more quickly because our brains are relating it in percentage base on a percentage base. Now again, like I said, I don't know that that's like scientifically proven. It could be philosophical, but it does, even if it's complete BS, there's enough of a grain of, that makes sense in it that it's worth thinking about. So a week is a week, and of course, time's a construct, and we call an hour, and we have these things. It's like we have time zones, and back in the day, it was before everybody had clocks. It was sun up, sun down. That was your day. And as the year changed, we had, more sunlight or less sunlight depending on where we lived and what time of year it was. Um I know there are ancient sundials. I'm not saying, clocks were like a big invention that changed our lives. Although I think some would say that they did. Um but marking time as hours and minutes as opposed to days and weeks and months or seasons. Um, Part of me really wants to get back to marking it by longer stretches of time instead of incremental, 5 minutes here, 15 minutes there. I will say that there were a couple of days this week that I really wanted to just like sit down and play a game on my computer. And I was like, no, I really want to get some, whatever this is done. And sometimes that brings more work. Not just that I'm getting work done instead of playing a game, which playing a game would have been fun. I could have, I would have received something from it. But I did feel the weight of my to-do list on me. So I chose to use the time the way I did instead of the way part of me wanted to. And because I chose to spend the time that way, not like, "Oh, I should really do such and such." No, I didn't say it like that. I didn't think it like that. I didn't feel it that way. I was like, "No, I'm gonna choose to do this." And at first it was like, "Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of this and then maybe I'll still have time." Um, but, I ended up not. Which is fine because tomorrow, you'll see this on Sunday, but today, Sunday, I have a game stream and I'm consider, and then coming up this coming week, by the way, another kind of time milestone. I will have been streaming on Twitch for a full year as of this Wednesday, September 7th. And so I'm planning some extended streams that will be both gaming and art related and just having some fun with that. Um, I've built it in that I can do that. And I feel better about how I end up using my time. Even though sometimes, I end up making more work for myself because the more time I spend on work, the more ideas I come up with and the more, things I need to then do, but I'm okay with that. I am honestly okay with that. So, it's all good. Um, that being said, have I run out of things to talk about this week? Yeah, I think I have. I think I've kind of given my I know they were a bit jumbled, but welcome to my brain. Uh, thoughts on time as it relates to brilliance, and how we use our time. And, I didn't like harp on it and go all Hallmark schlocky on us, but time is precious. And so, use the time you've got to do the things that are important to you. Um, that's all, that's really what it comes down to. But yeah, why say 3 words when 13 will do? Said the writer. Who, I mean, I tell stories in 40,000 words or thereabouts instead of, 60 or 70, but hey, it takes what it takes. That being said, again, I will put the link to the merch shop down in the description box. Everything that's, up there now is available to order. It's filled by Printful, so it's not coming directly from me. So if you're local to me, if you know me in real life and you're local and you're like, "Oh, can I just come pick it up?" No, I don't have it. I don't have it. It has to be made. And not only is that um easier for me, um with everything else going on, it's using time wisely because I'm using someone who does this and they create it and ship it and do all that stuff so that I don't have to spend my time doing that. Not that I would mind, but there's so many variations, sizes and colors and whatever's of all the things that I want to do. I'd need an actual warehouse, and we're not there. Maybe we one day we will be, but we're not there. So it's much better to have someone else do them as needed. Also, it's kind of, for being like, especially like the little skater dresses, I know they're fast fashion, and I do try and get away from, I mean, I would love to get away from that a little bit more, but at the same time, if I'm only making, if we're only making them as they're desired, then that's a little bit better, at least, than having a warehouse full of different sizes and colors and styles and all this stuff. But anyway, so yeah, I'll put that down in the box below. If you have not signed up for the newsletter, I would suggest you do so. If you're interested in um some of the behind the scenes stuff, or, knowing what's going on with the books, both prose and coloring books and other products, that's the best way to find out about it. Um that's the most reliable way, and you get access to the free, downloadable coloring pages each month, and, yeah, so and that's in the description box as well. So, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you. I hope you're doing well. Remember to take some time for yourself, put a little creativity into your days. It helps so much. I can say from definite experience that it helps so much to have those little moments of creativity in your day. Um, Take care of you first, and then if you have time, bandwidth, and inclination, take care of those around you. And of course, never be afraid or ashamed to show the world your brilliance, however that comes, however that works out. Okay? Until next week, bye.